Going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ride the Six Motorcycle channel. Somewhere under there is my 2009 Pontiac G8. We're kind of in the middle of February here right now, and as you can see, we got a lot of snow and it just keeps coming. Anyways, I had an issue with my car here before all the snow kind of set in. Let's go ahead and take a look. Had a bit of an issue with my car today. This plastic piece here on the top of the rad on the Pontiac G8. Apparently it's a common failure in the rad, and the piece broke off. And that piece that broke off is the piece that actually makes sure that clip and the hose stay connected. Without that piece, the hose literally just shoots right off. So I've had the car towed home with CAA. I need to kind of get all this stuff out of here. I need to get my cold air intake unbolted. Need to get the MAF out of here. Even though it looks like the hose is connected right now, it's just there temporary. If there was any pressure on that hose, it's just going to shoot right off. So I have no choice. I have to change the rad. In order to do that, I need to get all this stuff out of the way. Pull out the fans. Disconnect the lines, pull out the rad. Drain the coolant, obviously. Alright, let me get started. I'm just going to kind of quickly take this out, and then we'll come right back. Just like that, just removing this off the throttle body here. I've got my cold air out of the way. This is the piece that's broken off on the rad. Unfortunately, this is all part of the rad, so the little flange that normally goes on the end here, and it kind of sits in behind this ring, has broken off. Apparently a pretty common issue on the G8s. Happened to my buddy too. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So this is the ridge that I'm talking about. The clamp sits behind this, and then it can't slide backwards. But without that ridge there, there's nothing to prevent that hose from just going whoop and shooting right off. So anyways, that's the dilemma we're in. I'm going to work on the fans next. I believe I just got to pull this out, unclip here, maybe get some of these other lines out of the way, and we're going to try to get the fans out at least. It's kind of hard to film and record, so I'm just going to do it step at a time, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys. So just to get your fan shroud off here, it's just these two little clips, this one right here, and this one right here. You just want to gently dislodge them with a flat blade screwdriver. You can see they clip in here. Just gently push down. You do not want to break these clips. You're probably going to have to reuse this unless you want to buy a new piece. Okay, so I have those clips undone. I have our fan connection undone over here. I should be able to just lift this fan shroud and pull it out. It's the fans and the fan shroud are off. It is a little bit tricky. Down on the bottom there's two coolant lines, and they go into these clips. So even though the front unclips very easily, or the top, you're going to get fetched up down here. To be honest, guys, the easiest way is just to break these clips off, because it's so hard to get down there and try to push the clips out and pull the fan shroud all at the same time. So this is the one that I just took out of the car. You can see those clips. I just broke them off so I could just pull it straight up and get it out of the car. So there's my fan assembly. It's in pretty good shape, probably better shape than this one here. My cold air, obviously. And now I've sprayed, these are the two lines I was telling you about that go in those clips. I sprayed these lines with some WD-40 here tonight. I'm going to let them sit, and then hopefully tomorrow get those lines off. So with the cooling fans out of the way, I guess the next thing we're going to have to do is drain the coolant and then get these lines off. My lines aren't in too bad of shape, but you got to be very careful here, guys. If you break these lines, I mean, you're going to have to probably fabricate something new, because trying to get new lines, probably not very easy. So I'm practicing on my backup rad here right now. So this is just a 19-inch, and I just put a a socket on it, and I was able to get that out. The other one here I'm going to just take off as well, but I'm more concerned about getting them off here. So let me work on it. Let me see what I can get done here. All right, so I'm just looking at the old rad. See that little silver clip there? I believe if you're taking the lines off the existing rad, you got to get that little silver clip off. Now I unscrew these from my replacement rad, but I don't know if that's how they're going to come apart off the car. So yeah, stay tuned. So here we are, another day, some more daylight. So a couple of guys have told me to detach the rad lines, or sorry, the transmission coolant lines, I guess. Take them off at this point. It's a little bit easier than getting them kind of off the rad. So I've got them out, and these are the little clips that people are talking about that hold the lines in. So I just used a little tiny flat screwdriver, got in there around that ring right there, and pop them out. And there you go. I have the lines off. I've drained the coolant, and we're getting ready for the next step, which is actually to take this rad out. Hopefully I don't have to remove the whole front bumper assembly. Let me see. All right, next thing we're going to try to do is to get these, I guess the rad mounts, or whatever you want to call them, out. You got to pop this little piece up in the center, and then should be able to just wiggle them out, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little bit tricky. They don't come out super easy. They are coming out. There we go. First one's off, but yeah, you got to pop that little centerpiece first. You can see right there, it's like a locking mechanism. So pop that up. Pull your two, I guess, stays or mounts or whatever you want to call them, off the rad. So another thing you're going to have to do to get your rad out of your car, you're going to have to unbolt, I guess this is your AC line, I guess. And all it is one nut right there that you could see I put back on the thread post. And this is under pressure, guys, so I didn't really drain the system or anything first. I just kind of unbolted it. But be very careful. It's going to spray stuff everywhere, as you can see. I've kind of made a mess. But the line is off. I didn't break anything. And it looks like now I have the bottom hose disconnected on the rad. I have the trans coolant lines off. I have the top hose off. Going to the engine. And it looks like our rad is ready to come out. So let me pull that out of the car. I think in retrospect, guys, I probably could have just unbolted this front piece and not actually undone these connections. I don't know if that's AC or if that's actually the bottom line. Looks like it goes into the power steering. So yeah, maybe you don't need to undo that. Sorry guys, I'm not a pro here. I'm just a guy trying to fix his own car because it's too expensive to take it to a shop. Alright, I'm going to just try to unbolt that bolt there. See if I could undo that, possibly. So here we go, a little update on the rad, guys. So I was able to buy a brand new hose here for one of, this would be the driver's side kind of coolant line that goes back to your trans. And this one, I was not able to get a replacement line. There's none available. I can't buy them anywhere. So instead of trying to pull the line out, I decided to unscrew the whole thing from the rad itself. It might be the safest way in order to not damage this line, and maybe I'll just turn it back into the new rad. So the new rad is here. I have it in a box. So hopefully by transposing some of these parts, it'll get me back up and running. And in order to get this one turned out, I'm going to turn this one out as well. But in order to turn this one out, you got to take off this bottom outlet valve or inlet valve, whatever you call it, I don't know. And there is a lock ring on here, so you got to pull the lock ring out. So yeah, I'm working on that. Stay tuned, guys. I'll give you an update. So I was able to get that little clip out, and then this little outlet valve, it just pulls straight up. And now with that out of the way, we can turn this out, hopefully. It feels a bit tight still, but I don't need this line, but one of you guys might need this line, so in an effort to save this line, I don't think I want to play with the little clips and try to separate it from the fitting. So there we go. I don't know if I can get those little clips out, possibly, but I don't know if I can get the line out from the fitting. So my effort is to save as many components for this G8 as I can, guys, because I know some of you guys could need some of this stuff. So I'm going to throw out the rad piece that is just totally garbage. I'm going to save all the other little pieces, the hoses, the clips, obviously the 2 cooling hoses. And yeah, whatever I don't need for my car, I'll probably put up on the G8 board or the forums. So our new rad has arrived. It's now time to take this line that I took off my old rad, fit it up to here, and I don't really want to do this, but I don't have a choice. Rather than take the line apart from the fitting, I'm actually going to remove the fitting here with a 19mm wrench. You got to be careful. You don't want to remove both fittings because the thing will drop and then you have to turn it upside down to get it turned back in. So I'm going to remove this fitting. I'm going to get this line on. Let me do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so there we go. I used a 19mm socket because there's no pipe or anything coming into any line coming into it. You can just put a 19mm socket on it, turn it out. So what happens is this piece will drop down inside. So you might have to flip the rad upside down. But we're going to try to take our old line now and we're going to try to turn it back in because I could not find a replacement line for this one, so we have to reuse. So yeah, it's pretty easy to turn this in. It's not so easy to turn this in because you have to have the rad upside down. I'm going to get a second set of hands here to hold the rad above my head and I can hopefully turn it in. I've been trying this way. I can't get the line to lock in even though I tested this in the old rad, it fits. So the pieces should be the same, threads should be the same. I was able to turn that line in. I had to have somebody else hold the rad up above my head so I could actually get in here, turn the line in, and I just snugged it up so it's come back to the same, I guess, horizontal point in the rad. And now we're going to pop in the new line that I have and we're going to try to get that in the car. Okay, I've taken my little ring off here, right there. This is our brand new hose. This is probably the last hose in the world available. I don't know. I got this from Rock Auto. This hose here was $145 Canadian, I believe. So we should be able just to pop it in. I don't know. I have no experience with this stuff, guys. I'm just learning. Should pop in there. And then we should be able to put our ring around it. And we should be good. Okay, let me go back to 2 hands here and I'll get this finished. I even ordered some new clips. So this was the stock one that comes with, probably just a stainless steel clip. The new ones I ordered are actually blue. So maybe they're not metal, but maybe they're covered. So maybe it won't seize, like I guess what's happening on all the older cars. There's the original ring. And there's the new fancy blue lock rings that I got when I ordered the parts. So anyways, I have the 2 transmission coolant lines on. It's time to drop this back in the car, and then we'll fiddle with these hoses and that hose there. I've tightened this down. This is pretty tight. I don't want to go any tighter, and it looks like it's sitting in the proper position. So okay, let's go get this baby dropped in the car. Don't forget to take the little, I guess, rubber guards off your old rad. I've taken them off that one. And don't forget to take the screws that hold the rad and I think the condenser together. The new rad doesn't come with that, but it comes with the clips. But you need to reuse your hardware. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's go drop it in the car. We have everything back together, everyone. I had to switch phones because I actually dropped my phone yesterday in the process of fixing the car. I've got my fan shroud back in. The new rad's in. I've got all my lines, all my fittings, all my clips. Down there I put a hose clamp. It's just a lot easier. It's a tough space to work on that standard AC Delco clamp. So I put a hose clamp there, tighten it down. Got my cold air back in. This is a cold air out of Australia that I've ordered. Only one I've seen around Canada. I do have to put something, a little spacer here between the top of the rad because they're rubbing. But yeah, everything's back together. Got a new rad cap just in case. New line here going to the top of the rad. All my connectors are in. My little breather hose is in. We are going to start filling this car up with coolant. I just did start it quickly to make sure my battery wasn't dead, but I've had the battery tender on it for a couple days. Yeah, plan ahead, guys. So yeah, I'm going to fill that with coolant and hopefully there's no leaks. Stay tuned. Okay, I've got the car running. I've got almost 2 full jugs of coolant in here. I'm just kind of burping the system, make sure all the air's out of it. You can squeeze your rad hose a little bit. I've already done it a couple times. I got my heat full blast in the car. I can see the coolant levels coming up here. We're going to be spilling over here in a little bit, which is fine. Just going to put a rag there, suck it up. Let's go in the car quickly. So yeah, you can see I have my heat at full blast. Fan is all the way up. Car's been running almost 5 minutes. Gauge is still looking good. Don't worry about all the orange, that's other issues. So yeah, we're just gonna let that coolant kind of bleed itself out while the car's warming up here. Once the heat starts cranking, it should suck that coolant right back into the engine. It should open up the thermostat. Everything should be good. Car started, no issues. That's because I had my battery tender on it. Apologize if the video quality's not as its usual standard. There we go. She's gonna open up and suck it in there. So new rad, it's gonna take a lot of coolant, and I've dumped almost 2 full jugs in. So, and you can see these are almost 4-liter jugs, 3.78. So there could be still a little bit of coolant left in the car, which is fine. All right, let me get this done. I'll come back and give you guys an update. There it is. We've still been getting hammered with snow, guys. Check this out. We're into February here now. But yeah, so since I've repaired the car, I haven't had any issues. So I've kind of done the repair properly, or as best as to my abilities at least. And I haven't had any overheating. Obviously, we're in the winter, so but yeah, haven't had any coolant leaks, haven't had any issues. So yeah, we're back on the road. So hopefully that little video tutorial on how to replace the rad in your Pontiac G8 V6, maybe it's the same in the V8, I'm not sure, probably very similar. So yeah, hopefully that little video helps you guys, and yeah, keep your cars in good shape. I need a wash here, obviously, and don't forget to thumbs up or comment in the video if this has helped you at all.